All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to make sure that the audio is turned up, and I want to make sure that everything is correct here. I'm going to be quite honest with you. I was going to go ahead and just relax for the evening. But I was just inspired by someone in which really catapulted me to want to reach out to you all and have a conversation, if you will. So with this, I want to welcome you all first and foremost to another episode here on Transformation Greatness, along with the Small Business Network podcast. I'm not sure as far as what the episode is, but the message, as you see in the description, is going to be entitled Be the Eagle. And to go ahead and set that up for you, first and foremost, just got off of the meeting with the Circle of Love United, in which, by the way, First Lady Doreen Wood, her sister, Brenda Yanti Guthrie, just gave an excellent presentation, and just really her testimony and her ministry, and just how so many of us was actually inspired to hear as far as on the topic in which that she was discussing. And it really just inspired not only myself, but so many others as well that was in attendance, that I had to come on board here and just been inspired by it. So if you will, do me a favor on this Saturday evening, on this Memorial Day weekend, if you're catching us on the live, put in the hashtag live, guys, and let us know exactly where you're tuning in from. And of course, if you should happen to catch this on a replay, go ahead and put in the hashtag replay. So before we go ahead and jump into this, just a brief introduction of who I am, and then we're going to go ahead and dive into this, because I want us to have a conversation, if you will, because I believe this is very fitting. And like I mentioned, it definitely inspired me to even talk about this. So a little bit about who I am. My name is Sean A. White. I'm the founder and creator of a brand which is called Transformation Greatness, which is all about motivating, encouraging, and inspiring the masses. And with that, I have developed the skill set of being a speaker, a coach. Some call me a life coach. Some call me an inspirational coach. A coach, right? A hypnotherapist practitioner, a radio and TV personality with the Small Business Network, along with my business partner, Dr. James McConnell, and many others. In addition, I'm a part of many different organizations. So that's a brief introduction about me. But I want to go ahead and get into this because it was so powerful that I know there's going to be many individuals that was on that meeting that's going to be sharing this on their social media handles. And if you didn't have an opportunity to listen into that, by all means, please feel free to reach out to me, and I will do my best to go ahead and get the recording for you, because I believe it was so spot on. And it's amazing because when she came on, the topic was, it was more so of being an eagle. And she went into detail on the characteristics of an eagle. She talked about and described as far as from the wingspan. She described as far as the habits of an eagle, on how they have in-depth, keen vision, on how as far as their wingspan will reach some as even 6 to 7 feet in length, right? She talked about as far as a keen sense of direction. But she also mentioned too, as far as with the eagle, if you know anything about eagles or nature, you know and understand that eagles always looking to fly high and to even soar. Now, that's pretty cool. Most of us know that and understand that, especially if you're an entrepreneur, if you're in business. You heard that a lot as far as with eagles, you know, being a leader, you know, how to stand out, you know, being that leader, that eagle. But what she said during her entire presentation that really resonated with a lot of individuals is that with eagles, is that when they are in trouble or bruised, what happens is that they cut off their talons, right? Or their toenails, I guess, if you will. And then what they do, they allow the healing process to start. That's point number one. And I'm about to go ahead and make a point with that and tie that in with a story. But also, too, what she said that was very profound is that when an eagle is marking for their territory, or when an eagle is so focused and determined, what they do, instead of just prying on their prey or jumping on an opportunity, they sit back and wait. And they meditate, and they meditate, and they wait, and they meditate, and they meditate, and they analyze, and they're strategic about it, and they meditate, and they meditate, and they wait. Mind you now, they already know on what they're going to do and what they're going to accomplish, but they meditate and wait. And when the timing is just right, they go through with a sense of determination, and failure is not an option. So what I want to do, I want to go ahead and tie this in. And again, I want to have a conversation about this because it inspired me so much. Because as most of you know, last couple of weeks, last month, it has definitely been a whirlwind to say the least. And if you know me, I'm very transparent, right? And it's been very interesting. It's like, man, you know, if it ain't one thing, it's another, right? Murphy's Law, some of you might have heard, right? And no matter how hard you push and you push, right, from a physical, emotional, spiritual standpoint, and you're fighting, and you're clawing, you're fighting, you're clawing, you're fighting, you're clawing, and yet you're being knocked down, or something else comes, or Murphy's Law come in and say, hey, well, you think you close that door, guess what? Here goes another door, boom. And so you go ahead and conquer that. Here goes another door, boom. And that gets closed, and another one opens. And yet, so this whole entire, for the month of May, it has really been draining, to say the least. And I want to be careful with the words in which that I'm saying here, because again, the words in which that we speak, as I mentioned in on one of the organizations I'm a part of, I actually led by what Proverbs 18:21. We want to be careful what we speak, because death and life is in the power of the tongue, and those that love it will eat from its fruit. But for the sake of this conversation, I want to use those particular words just to set the preface, and want to set the stage as far as how I've been feeling emotionally. So when she mentioned with that, and how the perseverance of the eagle, right, thus is the reason why, in terms of the bird species, if you will, on why they're the longest survivor, is because they learn to adapt. They learn how to thrive. They learn how to persevere, and they have that faith that after doing studying, after, you know, just prepping and meditating over and over and over and over again, through the power of repetition and, let's face it, faith, on how they're able to achieve, and they go ahead and attack their prey, no matter how small or how big it is, with the idea and notion that, guess what, I will succeed no matter what. And so when she was mentioning that, and when we was all having a discussion, it was like, wow, it was so inspiring to me. Because how many of us, ladies and gentlemen, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're a speaker, whether you're a coach, or whether you just have a 9-to-5 job, right? How many of us can actually relate and is actually experiencing that? Know someone that's going through that experience, and like, wow. And just like the eagle, when they're in a situation where they have to kick back and lick their wounds, so to speak, or they have to heal, right, and strategize through the power of repetition and get better and better and better. How many of us is actually going through that? See, I wish there was more people that was actually on right now, but I totally understand because it's the Memorial Day weekend, so I get it. But those that's catching this on a replay, I ask you this question. What are you doing right now to heal, to bounce back, to get stronger? And so when Miss Brenda, Doreen's sister, was actually going through that and discussing it, and as everybody was just, bringing their input and was just relaying and IEDing and everybody sharing their testimony and everybody's encouraging and, there was healing, there was transformation that was being taken place. And likewise, as far as with the eagle, if you notice, that's the reason why they only hang out with other eagles, because they understand that other eagles strengthen each other. Other eagles understand that mindset, and they understand the goal that they're trying to get higher, and they're trying to soar higher, and they're trying to succeed. So it makes sense that as the eagle, it doesn't make any sense to want to fly as far as with a seagull. Or it doesn't make any sense to fly with a regular bird because they have different level of standards. And so with that, that was confirmation to me that even though I'm going through what I'm going through, but guess what? I'm going to get out of this situation and I'm going to soar into excel. Is this making sense to anybody? And I know there was someone that's experiencing a level of hurt. I know there's someone that's going through a level of frustration. I know there's someone that may be depressed right now, or maybe feeling confused or not understanding as far as what's going on, because you have so many different types of forces that's coming your in. I know. But I also know and understand, just as Brenda articulated in the Circle of Love United meeting group, that guess what? When that was put as far as in the ancient scriptures, to fly like eagles and soar, to run and not get weary, when you put your trust and faith in the Creator and really get in His presence, or get in the presence of whatever you believe in and fully immerse in that, not only to pray on it, not only to meditate on it, not only to recite it, but really get in the presence, then that's when spiritual downloads or digital downloads, for those that's more familiar with that, is able to take place in roots. Man, I wish it was more people that was actually on to where we can have a conversation and talk about this, because it was so powerful, and it's still powerful. And I believe that many members of the Circle of Love United meeting is talking about this as of right now. Actually, you know what? Let me see something here. Let me see if I can tag a few folks here, because I would really want to get some engagement going on here. I really, 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 really do. And I believe by just your intake, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be something special. Because anytime that I do thoughts from the heart, if you will, it opens up great dialogue. Because I love to hear from others' viewpoints, right? And I love just doing presentations or actually talking about different topics. But it's just something as far as that when this is open, I believe that it can truly transform and really shape the person that is willing and able to not only hear it, but also receive it internally as well and move with inspired action. I really, 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 really believe that. I really do. So I want to bring on a few folks if I can, but if not, and I'll get about a few moments here, because I know with Facebook, it takes a while as far as for the algorithm to develop. And plus two, apologies as well. I haven't been on live stream in the past It seems like it's almost like 2 weeks now. Seems like that. But again, I just want to get, not the expectation, but I want to be able to inform the listening audience know of what's been happening. Because when you're an entrepreneur and when you're going through life, so to speak, or when life be lifing, as one of my mentors say, things come about. Things come about. And you have to handle that. You can't just run away from that and just immerse yourself 1,000% fully into your work or business, because then you'll be negating your family. You'll be negating your other obligations and responsibility. It's not easy to balance, not only your business, but also your life as well. But then again, though, as an entrepreneur, isn't this what we signed up for? As a servant leader, as someone that has an obligation and an assignment calling on your life, isn't this what we signed up for? All right? So I'm not here as far as to make excuses, but we're here having open dialogue and being that eagle that Miss Brenda talked about. And we have here Miss Bessie Sharp in the house. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, Bessie, by all means, if you want to go ahead and add in your input, I would love to have just healthy conversation. And if anyone wants to actually come on here and actually, join me as we're speaking about this, hey, I would love to have you as well. And let's have a healthy dialogue, because this is very, very important. Very important. Very, very, very important. Very important. So I just want to give it a few moments. If not, again, I don't want to hog this time and just be talking for the sake of be talking. But I believe this is very, very important as we're talking about, once again, the eagle. And being that eagle, and what does that look like? We have here Shonda in the house. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We have here Cassandra Pickett in the house as well. So ladies, the opportunity is open to you as well. So I just want to have healthy dialogue around this. And if anyone wants to come on board with me and we can have healthy dialogue on this, and you want to be a guest, let's go ahead and make this happen. If not, hey, doing it this way is totally fine. If you're camera shy, or if you're not in a position to really be on camera, that's totally fine as well. But what I was talking about, just to give everybody a quick recap, just came out of the Circle of Love United meeting. And by the way, with First Lady Doreen Wood, she actually had her sister, which was Brenda Yancey Guthrie, come on. And she led as far as the meeting. And she talked about as far as her being that eagle. And really just talking about the characteristics of an eagle. But I love how the way she mentioned that with the eagle, their ultimate job is to soar and soar high. And when they are ready to strike, it's already premeditated, because they have studied their prey. They have, through the power of repetition, learned about their prey, the weaknesses. And even though they can strike right then and there, but they wait for the opportune time while they're sitting there and they're going through the steps. And isn't that like an entrepreneur, as we are building our business, as we are building our brand, as we're out there serving as far as our community, serving at our place, our job, right? Our business, etc. And how through the power of repetition, well, you can say that too, of repetition, how we're doing it over and over and over and over and over again. And just like the eagle, when the opportunity presents itself, on how we take inspired action. This is the reason why that when you are someone that is highly motivated and you are driven to serving your assignment and your obligation, that's why it's very important that you can only associate yourself with individuals that share the same visions and passions as you. Because of the fact, if you're with anyone else that has a lower vibration, or every single time you talk to them, they are cynical, they are spiteful, they are petty, they are envious, they are jealous, it will never ever work. Never ever work. because they would not be able to see as far as a vision in which that you have, and then thus they will be considered as an energy drainer. And this is the reason why with an eagle, they would never associate themselves with a seagull or with, let's say, for instance, a penguin or any other type of animal, because the mindsets are totally different. Think about this as well, that, and she mentioned this, when the eagle gets hurt or is vulnerable, the eagle goes somewhere, and what they do is that they break off their talons and they allow for the healing process to take root, right? They don't go as far as to the seagull, or the eagle does not go to a chicken or a rooster, healing, licking its talons and having a conversation with them. Why? Because it's different. It's a different mindset. You have one that is the leader, right? One that is the hunter. The other one is basically the prey. Ask you all, how many of you, or those in which that you may know, that have a vision, that have an obligation, that have an assignment, and yet you're going through something. You're going through a season of whatever that may look like, and you're speaking to someone that cannot relate to you in any shape, form, or fashion, doesn't have the same goals, doesn't have the same drive, doesn't have the same, oomph, if you will, to create content or create events or create other opportunities. But yet every single time you're talking to them, they're always talking about something that happened 2 or 3 years ago, or on how their boss is not treating them right, or how their co-workers is treating them unjustly, always talking about them, and yet they're not trying to change their situation whatsoever. I'll wait. So it says here, yeah, Cassandra, exactly. Mindset is the key. Share the same common goals. Correct. Correct. You know what I love? When I'm going through something, or when I'm planning on creating something, isn't it interesting? It can be the law of attraction. It can be the law of vibration, whatever you want to put it. Isn't it amazing on how there will be an individual or individuals that will say something or do something that would then rebirth that creativity, that will affirm on what the creator has been possibly trying to reach out to you? Isn't it funny on how you may think that it's over for you, but yet an individual may have went through a situation or came out of a situation, and you realize on just how human they was, but through perseverance and through the power of faith and through determination on how they was able to get out of that, and they were willing, more than willing, to share their experience, strength, and hope. Powerful stuff, guys. But I want to hear, because I'm really not seeing the comments, so if you guys are commenting, I definitely do apologize about that. But if you guys are commenting, I would like to see that a little bit more. Because again, I want this to be a healthy dialogue. And again, if you would like to come on board and really jump on this with me and be a guest, just let me know, and I would love to bring you on board, because I love dialogue. I love interaction. I love learning from different perspectives. And if not, then guess what? We can go ahead and cut this conversation short, And then tomorrow, because I know I have an action-packed Sunday, so I believe it's going to be 2 podcasts in which I'm going to be doing. But I just felt compelled and inspired to just really talk about this because, again, it just inspired me. And I just believe that this is going to help and benefit someone, if not today or tomorrow, then somewhere along the lines in the near future, that a person would be able to come back here, come on my page, and to be able to catch this at the right time, at the right moment, and be inspired and compelled to move with inspired action. Thank you, Shonda. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I'm just waiting here, and let's see. It is about, I don't know how long I've been on so far. Really can't tell. But it looks like no one doesn't have anything else. So I'm going to go ahead and close this out. I appreciate for the ones that were able to hop on. For those that wasn't and catch this on a replay, if you found this to be of value whatsoever, by all means, please feel free to go ahead and add this in. Just want to go ahead and give you guys a few updates here, in which that the self-love retreat with Shonda Alicia and company will be kicking off in the month of July in the Windy City, also known as the Chi-Town, Illinois, Chicago, Illinois, in July. Just to let you guys know that tickets are still available. Yours truly and many others will be in attendance. It's going to be a 3-day event, and believe me, you don't want to miss that. So if you want more details, definitely feel free to tune in. Also, as well, be on the lookout as well for my partner, the Cassandra S. Pickett. She is picking up tremendous speed as far as with her podcast, because I believe she's still doing the art of self-forgiveness. And if you haven't seen as far as her last couple ones, they were absolutely powerful. So definitely feel free to follow Cassandra S. Pickett on all her social media platforms. Obviously here first. And believe me, you will be inspired by that. That's a lot of value for sure. And tomorrow, we're going to be doing a twofer, because I'm going to be having 2 guests as far as on my podcast. And that's going to be fun. So definitely stay tuned for that. So with that being said, I appreciate you all. This has been another episode here from Transformation Greatness, along with the Small Business Network podcast. And it has been an honor and a privilege. And I'm going to end this segment like I do all my others. And if what we stated on here either motivated, transformed, or inspired at least one person, and may God be the glory, and I take no credit for absolutely none of it. Also, special reminder, almost one thing I forgot. I'm going to be leading as far as for on Memorial Day for the Excellence Corporate Prayer. That has been so fun. That has been so amazing. So it'll be my last day doing that. So that'll be at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So once that's done, I'll share that on my page and let me know as far as on what you guys think about that. Until then, thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your Memorial Day weekend. Remember, tomorrow I'm going to be doing a twofer. I'm going to be doing 2 podcast interviews, so that's going to be fantastic. By His grace and mercy, look forward to seeing you all on the next episode. Peace and love, family. Thank you for your time. Have a blessed one.